Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fans Edge podcast, your monthly home for discussion on games, TV, film, and everything in between. As usual, we're your hosts, Joe, and Janie Spring's second goodest boy, Tom. Tom, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
I don't get the context there, and I imagine, as usual, you're not going to fill me in.
Between me and Jay now, we've decided no context for you.
Yeah, okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
So if anyone that's listening or watching understands, feel free to fill me in, because Tom's not going to.
Usually I do, but now we're like, no context for you.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about June's gaming releases as well as the games showcases. So we had Summer Games Fest, the Xbox Games Showcase, Ubisoft Forward, the PC Gaming Show as well. We're going to be taking a look at those, having a little run through and talking about some of the sort of the standouts to us. I think is probably the way to summarise that. But before we jump into that, Tom, what have you been playing or watching, or what have you been up to?
So I've been watching Station 19, last ever episode, unfortunately, which is the spin-off series from Grey's Anatomy. And I've been watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Obviously, probably the biggest calendar motorsport race ever. And I also had the debut for the Ford Mustang in the GT3 category, which got third place in its category, in its class.
Oh, nice.
So that was nice. Ferrari won for the second year running.
Okay.
It was Toyota Ferrari on podium. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. Watching that for not the entire 24 hours, just a few hours when I can. Although watching the nighttime bits is quite fun to watch in the evening because it's different, I suppose. I've also been watching The Acolyte first few episodes. I'm enjoying it despite its controversial takes from the internet. I've been sort of smirking, thinking, yeah, I know exactly what you're on about.
Yeah, I do.
I've been playing my usual sim racing titles like Le Mans Ultimate. I've gone back to the finals. I've gone back to COD Zombies for Cold War because that's a bunch of fun. I've also been playing the demo of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which is coming out in September. And although the performance needs to be definitely altered, I'm having a bit of fun on it, so that's good. That's part of Steam's Next Fest. But that sort of sums up me. Fair.
Well, myself, what have I been watching? I've obviously been watching The Acolyte. Been watching Doctor Who.
That
one more episode to go at time of recording, so very excited for the season finale. Sad it's going to be over so quickly, though.
It feels like it's just started.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the problem with going with an 8-episode series and doing 2 episodes on day one as well. But anyways, I think we'll probably talk more about that next month, I would imagine, once we've got the whole series to look at. What else have I been watching? I've been watching a little bit of 911 as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've started on that. Now I've finished Lone Star. I've started on the the original.
Oh, right, yeah, because I watched 911 and then I watched Lone Star.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've done it backwards, but, that's me. In terms of playing, I've been playing a little bit Star Trek Online. I've been playing Empire at War, as usual. Euro Truck, of course.
I'm shook at these new games you've been playing.
Do you know, I don't think I've been playing any new games recently. I've played a little bit of Train Sim recently as well. Train Sim World.
Yeah, I noticed you picked that up, yeah.
Gotten back into that a little bit. So, yeah, realistically, I'm holding out for one game in particular. And we all know what that one game is. And you will be glad to know, dear listeners, we have a rant this month. It's back. But we'll get onto that a little bit later on. That's everything for me, really. I think the only other thing really that I've been doing, I've not been playing a lot of games, but I have started working on my Clone Trooper helmet.
I think I saw you post.
Yeah, I don't think I've talked about that. Yeah. I don't think I've talked about it on here before, but for those of you not aware, I run a unit in Armour 3, It's a clone trooper unit, and I have some custom armor there. I've decided that I want to make my custom armor in real life, so I've got a clone trooper helmet. I am working on putting it together and priming it, and then I will paint it eventually in my colours, my design. It's going to be a long-term project. Maybe at points I'll be sharing bits on here if I remember to bring it with me. But yeah, that's kind of what's been taking up a lot of my time this month, as I've finally put some time aside to work on it.
So basically, by the time that Star Wars Celebrations London comes back around, it'll be finished, right?
I will be going as CC Joe, Clone Captain Joe. Yeah, no, I will definitely. I'd love to go to Celebration as me, you know. I'll be doing it at Comic-Con and stuff as well, but yeah, definitely that is a dream. Definitely a dream. Right, Tom, we've rambled on long enough about what we've been doing so far this month. Let's talk about some games.
Yeah, as usual, game releases for this month. I sort of pick a few variety for the month. Just so you are aware, it's maybe not everything, because we can't cover everything, because we're going to be covering something very similar today, which is all the new games that's been announced and stuff. 4th of June, Star Wars Hunters for mobile and Switch. I've been having some fun on that. It's been great. I wish it would come to PC and other platforms, but yeah, I've dusted off my dust from my Switch, so now it's in use again. That I am enjoying it.
Yeah, I've played a little bit. I've been playing it on mobile. Very, very cool, very interesting, and I don't really like mobile games that much, but I feel like it works. The controls just kind of work for it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
It's sort of a hero shooter, and I do like my hero shooters. I really like those, and it just has that same sort of thing, and I just really enjoy what it's doing, which is good. Also on the 4th of June was the final ever DLC for Destiny 2 called The Final Shape. Lots of my friends have been playing this and have been looking forward to this because they have been playing Destiny 2 since it came out. It's been like, is it 10 years or something since Destiny 2 came out? Yes, they've delved thousands of hours and their entire lives into this game, because obviously Destiny 1 as well. Yeah, so it's kind of a big, almost finale. I think they're still going to do post DLC stuff, but I think this is the last major story DLC that they're getting for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. 14th of June is Monster Hunter Stories, a remastered version of the first Monster Hunter RPG for PC, Switch, and PlayStation. And then our final one is on the 20th of June, which is the Shadow of the Urge Tree, I think, DLC for Elden Ring.
Let's go with that, yeah.
Yeah, pronunciation's not my forte, but that's for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. For those that like Elden Ring. And that's June. Just a small selection this month. Okay.
Come on, Tom.
Game reveals
What's coming up?
for Summer Games Fest, Xbox Game Studios, Ubisoft World, and PC Gaming Show. The first show was the Summer Games Fest. And the first one is actually the first thing we're going to talk about in more depth, which is LEGO Horizon Adventures. So a new LEGO game in the Horizon series from PlayStation, which was rumoured, I think a few weeks ago or a few months ago. It's been circling around on the internet, and now we get our release. So LEGO Horizons is coming winter 2024 this year. It's for PC, PlayStation, and Switch. No Xbox.
Oh.
Probably because it's a PlayStation IP original, but it's also a LEGO game. But we don't know the actual ins and outs for that. Yeah, the trailer. It sort of combines. I don't know if you've watched it, Joe, but it sort of combines a little bit of a sort of regular LEGO character who's auditioning for something and is a hot dog suit, whatever, and it kind of combines it with the world of Horizon. So it's sort of combining regular LEGO with Horizons that wouldn't normally work in the world of Horizon, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm watching the trailer now. I haven't seen it.
Like it's sort of hard to explain for words. It's more something that you'd have to go out and watch the trailer for, I think. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I thought that if they were going to do a Lego Horizons game, they were going to do it regularly, like we got Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, where it's authentic to the world of what it is, you know, but adds in that really silly, corny Lego humor into it. But there's sort of added stuff on, and I'm not sure. Like, I'm interested in it because I played the first Horizon game. I like that, and I like the fact that it's in Lego form. Like, there's something just satisfying of having a medium where you've experienced it and then it goes into Lego form, and it's like, oh, that's actually really cool of how they've built it together with Lego bricks. But yeah, I'm not sure the sort of extra dynamic that they've added onto it. I don't know what you think as you're sort of watching it.
Yeah, I've not played the Horizon games.
Yeah.
So I have no kind of experience of this world, but the video looks like fun.
Yeah.
The game looks like it's going to be fun, and you know, for me as someone who's not played the games, that draws me in a little bit.
Yeah.
And actually, I find myself a little bit more interested in checking out the Horizon games now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't really have any connection to it, so it just seems like a bit of fun to me. If I had more experience of the games and that world, then I might have a different opinion. But
yeah, because it's very much way more light-hearted. I haven't played the second Horizon game, but I played the first one, and it's not exactly light-hearted or even fully dark-hearted, but it's more like a bit more of a serious tone. Because obviously you're going after these, I suppose, robots, aren't you, as Aloy. And what's really nice is the Aloy voice actor has actually voiced it in this Lego game as well. So it's the authentic voice actor as well.
Okay, that's cool.
But obviously it's obviously a bit of a different vibe because it's Lego and it's more upbeat and it's more cheery and I suppose it's the Horizons for children. Almost.
I guess that's the way you're looking at it.
Yeah, it is one way of looking at it, but that's not to say that adults can't play it, because, let's be honest, you have expressed interest, which you might pick it up when it comes out.
I have Lego sitting on my desk. That is not a disqualifier for me.
No. I'm just saying, so do I. I'm going to show him again. There we go. Here he is.
He finally has Lego on his desk.
I showed this last month, you know.
I know, but
have you forgotten?
For so long you didn't, and I was so disappointed.
Well, I had so Lego. I just didn't have Lego Star Wars.
Look, Tom. I also have a little Boba Fett. Are we using the original name?
Just say it.
In the Slave one. The original name.
It doesn't cause me any offence. I'm sure it doesn't cause any offence to anybody else. That's what the ship name is. Yeah,
it's the Slave. It will forever be that to me. I don't understand. But fine. If we get
cancelled, fine, whatever.
Hang on, let's not go that far. Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, that's like that's the Lego Horizon Adventures game for winter 2024. We don't have an actual release date as of yet, so that's obviously what TT Games have been cooking since Lego Star Wars. Right, next one is in the Summer Games Fest was No Room in Hell 2. I believe this was like a original mod from another game, but this is a 8-player co-op zombie survival game with permadeath, which is interesting.
Okay.
From what I can tell from the trailer, it was you can connect with other people. It's almost like you drop in individually and you try to sort of hook up with everybody else, trying to survive. I think that's the sort of vibe that it is. And you don't start with any guns. You start with a flashlight, and that's it. And you've got to sort of band together against the Zeds, basically. which is quite interesting. They also use the word horror in this, which, although I sort of like zombie survival games, putting the word horror in it does put me off because I do not like horror games in that sort of way. But
I feel like to some extent any zombie game is going to be because it falls in that genre.
Yeah, it does, which is funny because I don't like horror games, but I really enjoy, for example, COD Zombies.
Yeah. No, I understand that totally.
Yeah. So this one has like got my interest, but I'm like, because they've used the word horror, like how jump scary is it going to be?
Yeah.
Or that sort of stuff. That it's that sort of horror that I don't like because that's not my sort of thing. I don't like to be jump scared or scared or whatever.
Yeah,
I know some other people will and really enjoy that, but you know,
I'm totally with you on this one, Tom. I don't like horror myself. I've never really understood why people enjoy it. It's just not a bit of me. But you know, like you, I enjoy a good zombie game, a good zombie survival game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be one that I check out, but I think I'm like you. I'm a bit apprehensive. We'll see how far that horror tag goes. Is it just because of the zombie theme, or is it something else?
Now, the talking of the horror segment attached to zombies, we're actually going to talk about that later for a particular other release, which people may have guessed what we're going to talk about during Xbox Showcase. Yes. Anyway, after that we have Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. This was one I wanted to go into a little bit more deeper. Just a little bit. So we have a sort of cinematic trailer now. It's set for September 3rd for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. So everything. It's going on everything. It has a very unique art style. It's I don't know what art style it's classified as. It's a bit, I'm going to say cartoon, but it's not a classic cartoon as you would think, but it's not. It's sort of realistic / cartoon CGI sort of thing. It's almost on the style of, I'm going to say something like, it's almost stylized a little bit, maybe like Apex Legends or Fortnite or something like that. It's realistic, but it's got that sort of...
Do you know what? Actually, Fortnite, I think, hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
It's very similar style to Fortnite, definitely.
Yeah. There's no gameplay as of yet, which does concern me. That's one of the things I wanted to sort of discuss, because we've got September 3rd. We've only got a cinematic trailer with no gameplay. Now, I had a chance to playtest this ages ago, and I didn't actually take it on. I think this was at the time of I just got disinterested on Hogwarts Legacy. And I think that was why I thought to myself, I'm not really interested in Hogwarts Legacy no more, because I haven't finished the story, I haven't finished it, I haven't gone back to it in a very long time, and I think it was around that time where they did the playtest, which was a shame, because now looking back at this trailer, this actually kind of excited, because maybe this is a sort of sports game I can properly get into, because it's Quidditch. I know obviously
I understand that.
You obviously don't like the fact that they sort of took away the Quidditch aspect from Legacy in order to do this. But I almost like the standalone game, because I think that means they can focus entirely on everything that's Quidditch. Instead of having this bare bone basic mode in Legacy, we can have this fully fleshed out Quidditch sort of experience, which is good if they do it right and the gameplay looks good and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying there. Yes, by separating it, they can build a full game. They can go in depth on, I don't know, we're calling it flight mechanics, and the gameplay, and getting it down, as you say, as effectively a simulation of Quidditch, the game.
Yeah.
But, and I think I said this last year when they announced this, and it was sort of in the lead up to Legacy.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed that it's not in Hogwarts Legacy. To me, it feels like kind of like they've left it out intentionally so they can sell you another game. To me, it feels like a bit like they're just trying to make a bit more money off you, because you know, they've put flight into Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is supposed to be sort of the ultimate school experience, and then I don't know, especially the way it's presented in the story, it just felt so much to me like,
Yeah.
oh, and we're not doing this because we're going to sell you another game where you can have this experience. It just, yeah, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me, and it frustrates me a little bit.
You saying that just makes me think of the flip side of, obviously I'm quite up for this, but I can see the flip side of sort of your perspective of actually Quidditch is a core part of Harry Potter and that world, and they've simply removed one part. It would be almost, this is very much exaggerate. I can word. Exaggeration.
Please back in, try again.
Exaggeration. Right.
There we go. Got there in the end.
Yeah, we got there eventually. But almost like taking away Wonder Battles from Legacy, almost.
Yeah.
You know, that's a core part of the Harry Potter experience. Although it's not following the Harry Potter story as we know from the films or the books, it's your own thing. It's before? Is it before? I can't remember now when Legacy's based.
Yeah,
was it before the what we know?
Yeah. I can't remember when exactly it's set, but it's set quite a way before.
Yeah.
Before the sort of the films and the books and stuff. So
I thought so. Yeah. But yeah,
it's
regardless.
Voldemort.
Yeah, regardless, it's very, you know, part of the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah, like I say, Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like was sold as the complete school experience. You know, you can play your own story. It's not influenced by anything that we've read or watched before. But to leave that out, and like I say, the way it was delivered in game felt very much like it was shoehorned in. And I mean, that might just be because I'd already kind of made an opinion on that already when the game came out.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. That's the way I felt sort of seeing that and hearing that. So, yeah, look, I hope it is good, and I probably will try it out at some point, whether it's on release or later. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit frustrated by it still. It doesn't sit right with me still.
Yeah. And this is going to cause a real problem. If the gameplay does come out and it looks really good, I've got a problem on 3rd of September. Prison Architect 2 comes out on 3rd of September. Quidditch Champions comes out on 3rd of September. And there's another game that comes out on 3rd of September that I want, that I'm going to talk about last in the PC Gaming Show. You know what it is, but I'll leave that for later. They all come out on 3rd of September, and I'm like, I don't have the money.
Busy.
I don't have the money for all three, by the way, because I've got other games as well surrounding September and August, and
Gonna have to sell yourself, Tom. Just sell your soul so you can buy lots of games.
Well, at the moment, I'm like, I'm dismissing Quidditch Champions. I can get that later because I'm not seeing any gameplay, and that to me, particularly now, you know, is my main focus. If I don't see gameplay, that's not a sale for me. Okay, some other sort of announcements from the Summer Games Fest this was an interesting one. This one's made by a single developer. This is called Cuff Bust.
Oh.
It is a 20-player co-op prison escape game. And it looks absolutely crazy. You've got things like, you know, attacking guards and using explosives to get out, and you can get to a helicopter to escape, and it looks, I'm going to say fun. It also looks goofy. I don't know if you want to have a look at it, but it does look really goofy and fun. And the fact that it's been made by a single developer just amazes how good this game actually sort of looks as a sort of one of those fun with friends experiences.
Oh god, okay.
Yeah?
Sorry, yeah, I've just pulled up the trailer.
Yeah.
What even is this?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what is this? When I was watching Summer Games Fest.
Oh, okay, this looks like a lot of fun.
It's so goofy. I'm like, it's
ridiculous.
It's Prison Architect, but you're actually escaping it. It's in 3D proper.
Oh, okay, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
I don't even understand what those things are, but...
No, I can't explain. My initial thought is they're just teddy bears that you're playing
Yeah.
as, but
Oh, it makes no sense, but it looks great.
That's why I said it looks absolutely goofy.
Oh, damn! This might be something to pick up. Go on,
yeah,
right? Okay.
That's a single developer indie game.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, guys. If you haven't, I'm sure Tom's probably put a little bit of the trailer in for you guys to see, but go and check out the trailer. It looks hilarious. It's like I can see this being a bit like Among Us. Where it's one of those games that suddenly blows up and lots of friend groups are playing together. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Then we had something that was leaked on the 2K website prior to the event. Oh dear. So some of us knew this was coming, but Civilization 7 is coming in 2025. It's its little teaser trailer, so it's all cinematic. And there will be a gameplay showcase in August. And just a sort of perspective, I have Civ 6, I have Civ 5 as well, and honestly, I didn't think the game was that old. But Civ 6 came out in 2016.
No.
Yeah, that was my reaction, because you haven't played the Civ series, have you, really?
I've played little bits. I don't think I've ever owned a Civ game, but I've played it with friends, like when I was younger.
Well, if I originally said, oh yeah, when did you think Civ 6 was released? Yeah, you probably would have thought maybe a little bit sooner than 2016. Am I right?
Well, so if the next one comes out in 2025, it's 9 years, almost 10 years since the last one came out.
Yeah.
I would have said it was maybe 5 years.
Yeah, that was my original reaction. And the only reason why I put this on is because I saw a comment on the Civ trailer about when the last one was. I was like, no, it can't be that long. I went on to Steam. I typed in Civ 6. I was like, oh my god. It's 2016.
That's insane.
What? It's funny because, as you know, strategy games, not my sort of thing, because my brain goes at all the zillion controls and things you need to manage, and that's why I don't like them. But
what's the problem?
When I was introduced to Civ 6 or Civ 5, I put so many hours in. It's because the games go on for so long, but it's so addictive. You've no idea. Actually, you do have an idea.
Yeah, sorry, have you not seen me playing Empire at War? My god.
Yes. But yeah, there's nothing really to be super hyped on right now. It's just that there's an announcement for the new game, and we're going to get a gameplay showcase in August. Now, what game show happens in August, Joe? I think it's going to be... You don't know, do you?
No.
It's going to probably be shown in at Gamescom.
Oh, right, yeah.
In Cologne, Germany. Yes. Yeah.
I'm not good with dates. Don't... Move on.
Yeah. Anyway. The next game, which some of you might be interested in, is the Black Myth Wukong, which is the action RPG written in Chinese mythology. Mythology. That's the word. It has a release date. I've forgotten to put it in the notes. You're gonna have to look for the trailer for it, but it is coming out fairly soon. I think it's September again. Don't quote me on that. Okay. The next game was Asgard's Wrath. That was more showcasing a game that we already sort of knew about. It's a VR game for those people that are... I think it's actually more MetaQuest, but VR. Sort of the same thing. And then we had a Once Human trailer, which is a multiplayer open-world survival game set in a strange post-apocalyptic future. Why have I put in complicated words for me to say?
Post-apocalyptic.
I can't say the word apocalyptic very well.
It's all right, viewers and listeners. I am our Tom translator.
Sometimes I have to be a you translator. And then we had...
That's true.
And then, surprisingly, I actually got excited for this next trailer that came out. More because I was more excited for you than for me. Because as soon as I was... By the way, I live streamed my reaction to the Summer Games Fest. As soon as it came on, I tabbed out of OBS, I went to Discord, and I said to Joe, Joe, there's a new Space Marine trailer out on the Some Game Fest. Go watch it now. which leads to you, and your lovely rant.
Except it's not going to be a rant. I'm just excited. I'm just excited, and I want to share it with you guys. Before I go into my excitement, I do want to say, Once Human does sound quite interesting to me. For some reason, lately, I've had a real craving for open world survival games, multiplayer, this post-apocalyptic theme. I want to play DayZ and other games like it, where I can play with lots of other people and just encounter them.
That's funny, because based on the period of time I've known you, I haven't really thought of you as a survival sort of person or anything.
No, and I wouldn't describe myself as into that. I don't really play those kinds of games, but for some reason I've had a craving for playing those kinds of games.
Yeah.
And playing a character in those games and just, interacting with people. It's somehow, or for some reason, taken my interest. So maybe that's something I'll pick up. Anyways, right, Space Marine 2. I'm excited and I can't hold it back anymore. There's a new gameplay trailer. We're excited. I'm going to play it quickly so I can talk about it with you. But Tom, put this in. Tom, in the edit.
Yes.
Not Tom now. Edit Tom. Put in the trailer so we can talk about it with the people. Right. Lots of gameplay. Lots of big, vicious Tyranids with big spiky arms and mouths and jump packs and big guns. And I'm so excited for this game. There's 3 versions of it up for sale on Steam.
He's already pre-ordered, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say, I'm a little bit ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say I bought the most expensive version. I saw it went up for sale and I went, buy. Oh, I've bought it.
Oops, my finger slipped.
Yeah. Oh no, my credit card details fell into it. Oh, what are we going to do? Anyway, I'm so excited for this game. When did Space Marine 1 came out? Let's just do a quick...
You mentioned this in a previous podcast. I do remember. It was something like 10 years ago or something, I think you said.
Yeah, no, that's Space Marine 2. Don't give me that. No, that's... Oh, it's not giving me it. I just 140,000 Space Marine. It was released September 2011.
So fairly close to 10 years. Not quite.
Yeah, a little bit over. But, I've been waiting for this for a long time. And again, I know I talked about this in my Warhammer rants before. Space Marine is really good, or was really good, at representing what it would be like to fight as a Space Marine. That feeling of power and the enemies that you face, and it felt right for the lore. And everything I'm seeing about Space Marine 2 is saying it's going to be exactly the same. So yeah, let's go back to the trailer. I'm getting excited and I'm getting distracted. On the trailer, it's teased a little bit more of the single player, a little bit of the co-op mode as well, and we've had a little glimpse of multiplayer. They are going to be doing a deep dive on the 20th of June, which will be out by the time that you guys see or listen to this. It's not out for me yet, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I might have to call in sick so I can watch it. But I'm so excited to see more of this game. I'm interested to see more because it's going to show... They said they're going to talk about some of the gameplay mechanics, which I'll be interested to see what has changed or what they've improved. And they're going to show a little bit more about each of the modes, so single player, co-op, and multiplayer. I'm interested to see a little bit more about how these things are going to work. One of the things that I've picked up on is the co-op in the trailers that we've had so far looks to be like a side story almost alongside the single player campaign. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out, and I'm definitely going to stream the single player campaign. I'm so excited to share that with you guys. But I will probably try and stream the co-op with some people as well. I'll get some people to play it with me, because I think that would be interesting to see if it is different and if it plays differently as well. It looks like you'll play a sergeant and two Space Marines. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see more of that. There was also, I don't think we talked about it last month, but there was a multiplayer reveal trailer that came out towards the end of May. which confirmed the multiplayer is going to be a 6 versus 6. Looks at the moment like it's going to be Space Marines versus Chaos Space Marines. And then the co-op, as I say, is going to be a 3-player co-op. So yourself and 2 buddies playing. It looks like as a sergeant and two battle brothers. But I guess we'll see more of what that's going to be on the 20th of June. Yeah, all looks very faithful. Again, faithful to the lore and to how Space Marines play and fight. One thing I did think was worth mentioning as well is there is a change of voice actor. I think I might have covered this previously, but in Space Marine 1, Captain Titus was voiced by Mark Strong. He did a fantastic job. Really got kind of the gravitas in the voice as well, kind of what you expect of or what you would imagine of a Space Marine anyway, from sort of the lore and everything. He's a big Hollywood actor now. I imagine he costs too much to get to come back and voice Lieutenant Titus now. So they've got Clive Standen in. Clive Standen was in Vikings. I didn't watch that, but I've heard good things about it. And all of the voice lines that I'm hearing in these trailers, it's very clearly different to obviously Mark Strong's interpretation. But it feels like a very good reinterpretation. It feels very much still like Titus. The delivery is very much the same. The weight in his voice is very much the same. You can feel that kind of experience and those years of service behind it. I mean, Tom, Titus in this is probably about 400 years old, if not more. So you can kind of feel that in the way he delivers his lines. Which I think is probably the most important thing. We all expected it was going to be different. It's not Mark Strong. Mark Strong has a very distinctive voice, but it feels very true to the original. I feel like Clive is doing a good job, and I'll be excited to see more of that and also see how it works with the story that they weave. I'll be honest, that's all I've got to say. It's just a lot of excitement. As I say, there is a deep dive coming on 20th of June. I will make notes on that and talk about that next month, so you guys can get a little bit more of a breakdown on everything that came out there. They're obviously going to be showing off a lot more of the gameplay, so it'll be interesting to see how some of that works, what they choose to show to us, and what they might tease. And then, I mean, we've only got a few months to go. Because I paid for the most expensive package because I'm stupid, I also get access to it 4 days early. Yeah. So I'll be playing it on the 5th of September, I think it is. Yeah, the 5th. So I'm going to have to take some days off work because I'm so excited. I mean, Tom, look, you said you watched it and you got excited for me, but I mean, what did you think of the trailer?
I think it was interesting. I don't know much about the world or anything like that. One of my friends, Ben, that I went to college with, he, when me and him did a YouTube channel together, he used to actually do Space Marine stuff. He also did Halo Wars 2 and all that kind of stuff on there. But yeah, I know he's a Space Marine sort of person as well. And I didn't really get it, but I think it looks interesting. It looks, particularly, I don't know if it was this trailer or another one where, it's multiplayer and there are some rogue or, other Space Marines that you go against. I thought that's quite sort of interesting, whether you can choose to fight together or go against them. I don't know if I've got that right or anything. But yeah, that's one of the things that sort of stuck. I was like, okay, that's an interesting dynamic.
So those are the Chaos Space Marines. They're kind of like, I want to say bad guys, but when it comes to Warhammer, there isn't really a good guy. Yeah. Everyone is kind of bad in a different way, but they have fallen to kind of these dark gods, if you like. So I totally know what you mean, and it's one of the fun things. Yeah,
it's almost like going rogue in the Division 2, in the Dark Zone or whatever. I feel it's that sort of similar dynamic, but yeah, because obviously I've watched stuff, or I've known, it's not just from college, but other friends are interested in Space Marine 2 as well. So I sort of like watch stuff, but don't really know what's happening, or sort of And my sort of interest is it's the same reason why I don't play the Gears of War franchise, is because too much blood for me. I can deal with a little blood, but the amount of blood that are in Gears of War in this game has been exaggerated to the point where I'm like, I don't really like to look at that. Thank you.
I mean, that's fair. It's not for everyone.
If you can toggle that, fine, I would be interested. But
I doubt they will give you that as an option.
Like, you know, it's not like I'm super squeamish or anything like that. It's just the excess stuff. It's also the same with Doom as well. But yeah, that's the sort of feature that sort of turns me off, because I was like, well, it looks interesting. I'm probably not going to be a hardcore fan in it, but you know, co-op with you in Warhammer would be pretty interesting to do. Something else I can get, you know, another game I can get involved with. But it's just that aspect of that small, very little thing of a personal preference of I don't like that much, you know, on my screen.
It's interesting actually you saying about you could sort of be tempted into playing co-op with me, because I remember one thing about Space Marine, the original Space Marine, that was very good was, you know, obviously Warhammer 40,000, it's a very rich universe with a lot of history. I mean, they've been going for what, 40 or 50 years now?
Yeah.
You know, it's not exactly new, but when that game came out, all right, how many years ago? What, like 12, 13 years ago? Even people that hadn't really delved into Warhammer before, or weren't really interested in the tabletop or anything, even they were playing that game and going, do you know what? It's not throwing stuff at me that I'm like, what the hell is all this?
Yeah.
People could just get into it as a casual player. So it would be interesting to see if you could sort of get into it a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's actually an interesting point, because so many games have these sequels, and there's always that sort of question that people might put on Reddit or somewhere online thinking, I'm interested into this game, I'm new to this franchise, can I get into this game from this point of it, or do I need to go to a previous iteration to get the lore or catch up on the story, or does it sort of do it for me? So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, and if it would be a new player friendly game. I can imagine it would be, because they want, you know, new people to be interested in the franchise, and it's a new iteration with modern technology and graphics and mechanics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, certainly, again, going back to Space Marine 1, it kind of was a gateway for a lot of people to get into, not necessarily tabletop hobby, but the universe, and get more interested in that universe. And I know that a lot of people found an interest in Warhammer through Space Marine. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if we get that again with Space Marine 2, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, we all know I'm going to be talking about it here, so I will keep sharing updates as they come out. We've only got two more months of updates. But yeah, look, I'll keep sharing, guys, whatever I'm hearing, whatever I'm seeing, I will give you updates. We'll try and get Tom to play some with me when it comes out. And then I guess I'll give you a little bit of an update once I start playing it as well. I'm excited. Tom, look, I could sit here and talk about Space Marine 2 for another 3 hours. You've got more
I think we need to start. I think you need to start another podcast just dedicated to Warhammer.
The Hammercast.
Yes. Maybe that'll. Anyway, more Summer Game Fest stuff. There was a Batman game for Arkham Shadow, which people kind of cheered for, but then they realised, it's a Meta Quest VR game. Because, you know, the Arkham series, I haven't played the Arkham series, but I know the Arkham series is very... Oh, what have I done? Oh, no.
How have you not played that series?
Because I haven't, okay. I haven't.
Oh, Tom.
Because I haven't.
Oh.
My involvement with DC is very limited. I've watched the Superman films, the originals, with Christopher Reeve, I think he's called. And that's it. That's all the DC stuff. I haven't watched a single Batman film. I haven't watched any of that. I've just done Superman. And that's it. None of the modern or Henry Cavill stuff. No. I'm more of a Marvel person, me. I've not delved into it. Anyway, that's a MetaQuest VR game. I know it's very popular, and that's why people are a little bit disappointed. It's a VR game. I am, yet again, obviously, getting out pitchforks for other people for what I've just said for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, me too. I'm just lighting me torch.
Yes. Anyway, next we've got Delta Force Hawk Ops. Now, this was it's sort of a reboot or a remake of an older game, which I wasn't aware of, actually. Delta Force. So this new shooter is trying to do almost what a few shooters are doing into one. So they have a single player campaign which is called Black Hawk Down, which is one of the trailers that they kind of demonstrated. They've got a classic multiplayer as you expect in a shooter, but they've also got an extraction shooter as well. So all that in one, and I think the extraction and MP might be free to play. The campaign you've got to pay for. So that's how they've split it up. So the Black Hawk Down campaign will be based on the original game. And they also showed the extraction mode as well, where you form a 3-person squad consisting of operators from 4 classic classes. Each is equipped with unique gadgets and gear to have an extensive range of tactical options. And you can capture and decode a high-value supply called the Mandal Brick. And successfully decoding this offers a chance to obtain rare items, and carrying this reveals your positions to all squads. Which sort of answers my question, because during this I was like, is this a PvE extraction shooter? Is this a PvP? Or is it a PvE and P1? But it seems by that sort of wording that it is a PvPvE, as you would expect with an extraction shooter.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously you reach the extraction point with your squad and secure all the supplies, multiple ways of extraction. So yeah, your sort of normal sort of extraction shooter sort of thing. It has got me a little bit interested. I have been interested in some extraction shooters, that I want to get into. For example, Grey Zone, I want to get into that potentially because that looks good, because that actually has a PvE dedicated mode. You don't have to go against other players. You can just go on the PvE servers if you want to, because that's the one thing that has been really, really discouraging me from playing an extraction shooter is the PvP aspect, because these are more hardcore. There's no HUD sort of thing, and I would prefer to do that, but against just AI, to be honest, rather than other players, unless I'm playing with a friend or somebody else. But yeah, that's just me. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the trailer. I really like the look of this, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was Grey Zone that I've seen recently as well, and I like the look of that. So it's interesting you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But again, this is another kind of game that I want to get into a little bit more. I like the look of these things.
Yeah, I remember you saying about potentially trying to get into an extraction shooter. And I said, yeah, I'll join you on that, because yeah, they do look interesting, but I've never gone into it. Yeah. Which reminds me, actually, talking of extraction shooters, just on the back of that, which I don't think is I've listed in what we're talking about today, but Escape from Tarkov got a trailer at some point during one of these shows. I can't remember which one it was, actually. They're getting to 1.0. They're finally releasing Tarkov.
Oh, wow.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even after all the controversy they've had recently.
Yeah. It's funny, when it was revealed in the Twitch chat, someone said, "What is it going to cost you? $300?"
Give that man a medal.
That's funny. Yeah. So that's Delta Force. Looks quite interesting. I'm interested in it. Yeah. It's going to be free to play apart from the campaign, which is sort of nice. That sort of split model.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what? I might be checking that out.
I want to talk about The First Descendant, because this is a game I'm quite interested in, and it is a third-person looter shooter. Comes out on the 2nd of July 2024. We've known about this game for a while, but they finally got a release date. So you can do solo or co-op for up to 4 players. It's going to be free to play. You play various characters with distinctive concepts and battle styles. You can equip characters with 3 guns, 4 secondary accessories, and various sub-weapons. And you can also target huge boss monsters with different appearances and abilities through 4-player co-op. I don't know what's about this that's sort of interested to me. I feel like it's almost like the Division 2 again. That sort of looter shooter,
Okay.
but it's not quite that. I'm just saying that because the Division 2 is the only other looter shooter I've really ever played.
Right.
I suppose Borderlands counts as well, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of interests me. I'm like, well, it's free to play. It's one of those ones where they're going to add more characters as they go along, almost like a hero shooter sort of aspect. And I just,
Right.
just watching it, I thought this looks really interesting, and I think I can maybe get into this because I do think it looks good. And the trailer, although it's majoritively cinematic, has been done. I think there is some gameplay elements in there as well, but I think it's been put together really nicely. It's a really good put together trailer. So even if you're not interested in it, maybe have a watch because it's a good trailer.
Yeah, I'm watching it at the moment. It looks great. I might have to check it out.
And the plus thing is, it's free to play, so you can check it out. And if you don't like it, fine. It's not going to cost you any money.
I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
So obviously, free to play, it's going to have monetization stuff in there.
Well, yeah.
Which is obvious for a free to play game, but I don't mind that. So that was the next sort of game I was quite interested in, and I hope some other people. There was apparently a demo and stuff like that, so there's some gameplay online. And I've watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, yeah, I can probably get behind this game. The next, I wanted to go in a little bit deeper into the Finals Season 3. I've talked about the Finals. In fact, I mentioned it right at the start of the podcast, saying I've got back into it because I've got back into it for Season 3, which is out now. I've talked about it in a previous podcast, the Finals, when it was shadow dropped at the Game Awards last year. Honestly, from Mbox Studios, this is the most fun FPS multiplayer game I've ever played in my life. Okay. It is so fun, and it's free to play as well, so it's something that I'd recommend someone having a go at. And honestly, I want people to play with, please. Anyway, it's a 3-man squad anyway. It's made by ex-Battlefield developers, which is also why I'm slightly biased towards it, because the destruction is amazing. It is incredible what they've done with the destruction. The vibe of this game, for those people that don't know, is the main game mode is a 3v3 v3, which is a different concept, and it's almost like you're in an esports arena. That's the sort of vibe that you're in. Season sort of 2 kind of made it look like they've been hacked. That was their theme. So this theme sort of goes into the trailer for the Finals Season 3, because you hear the announcer saying, oh yeah, we're hitting the reset button. Wait a minute, we're meant to be back to the normal arena, not the hacked arena that we had in Season 2. But now we're in this Japanese-themed sort of season with the new arena of Kyoto 1568. There's Japanese-themed various new weapons like knives and katanas and bows and all that kind of stuff. There's a new ramp mode called Terminal Attack, and there's more cosmetics like the samurai armor. And honestly, anything, any sort of trailer or anything, and or the soundtrack just gets me excited to play. It just gets me hyped. I don't know why. It's the vibe that they bring for the Finals, and I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I've not played the game, but I did just watch that trailer, and that is quite interesting. I'm again tempted to pick it up. There's so many games. Tom, we need to stop talking about all these new games, because I'm gonna pick up so many new games.
Well, newsflash for you. That's exactly what this entire podcast is all about.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, my wallet.
Oh, don't worry. The Finals is free to play.
Yeah, but the rest of it isn't.
No, Battle Pass and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it is fun. Even if you play it for half an hour to an hour to see what it's like. I do think it's probably the most fun FPS ever. The player base probably isn't the biggest, I think. I think the player base has sort of dropped off since its launch, but I see comments everywhere saying it's the most fun FPS ever.
Okay.
And I honestly would agree. I love the Finals. It's great. I love it. That concludes Summer Games Fest. That's a lot. But wait, there's more. Not more. Right, Xbox Game Showcase. My prediction was off, Joe.
Oh,
We had no Forza Horizon 6. No Forza Horizon 6. I wasn't happy.
They let you down.
They let me down. No Forza Horizon 6. My logic for that was based on the release window for Forza Horizon 5. The same sort of amount of years of development time. But this could be good. More time for Forza Horizon 6. Also, Forza Horizon 5 is doing pretty well anyway. So, yeah. I know a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, it's not going to be announced. And I was one of those people saying, yeah, it's going to be announced. It was one of those things, is it going to be announced this year or is it not? That sort of thing. Yeah. In fact, there was nothing racing related. The Xbox might be like nothing racing related at all, which was a surprise in this Xbox Game Showcase. I thought they would maybe do something, but they didn't, which was interesting. Yeah. So Xbox decided to kick everything off with a bang. They started with the campaign trailer for Black Ops 6.
Wow.
Which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Because they did a post-show Black Ops 6 Direct, which was 24 minutes of just Black Ops 6. The Treyarch and all the devs sort of talking about the new Call of Duty. So we'll get to that, don't you worry. We've got a bit of a zombie theme today, because we got the sort of reveal. Well, we already knew this game was in development, but State of Decay 3. What the information that we know about State of Decay 3 isn't really too much far from what we know about State of Decay 2. Open world survival game set years after the zombie apocalypse. It's that word again. You know, they wiped out humankind. You need to find back and reclaim lost ground, carving out life for your community of survivalist homesteaders. So yeah, I have State of Decay 2. It's an interesting survival game. It's definitely better with friends. One of my friends had a multiplayer issue. For some reason, he couldn't connect. For some real reason, so he could only play solo, which was a shame. So hopefully they fixed that for State of Decay 3, but it didn't have with some of my other friends. Very weird, very strange. Anyway, you do kind of develop these settlements, and you know, when a character dies, they sort of die, and that's it. And you've got to use a new character. And I did like the sort of dynamic of State of Decay 3. Not 3, 2. Just the franchise in general. I haven't actually played State of Decay 3. That indicated that I played it. No, I'm not that special. But I am looking forward to it because I like number 2. And it just looked interesting. And it is definitely one of those co-op experiences that's very, very good. It does appear in the trailer. The trailer is very good as well. Of that sort of relationship sort of thing where you need to care about your characters, which I think might be even more of the way that they go for State of Decay 3. But we'll see, because we don't really know anything about it. There's no release date with this. There's not really any gameplay, or they might have sneaked some stuff into that trailer, but it was very cinematic, was this trailer. Any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm just watching the trailer. I've not played any of the State of Decay games, but again, this kind of want to play these survival games is kind of coming in here because it looks really interesting. It looks like something I kind of want to try out this year. Yeah. Or well, whenever this one comes out, but you know, yeah. Because I'm interested.
At the end, you'll obviously see the big sort of juggernaut zombie, which obviously isn't new, but he is a big boy, and it might even look like a new iteration of the juggernaut zombie, which is interesting. Which is basically a big ass boss you need to tackle. So I'm looking forward to that. I just wanted to kind of go into a little bit more detail of what we know, although we don't know much, because it was one of my highlights. I really did think that, because of my experience in State of Decay 2. The Age of Mythology Retold is coming September 4th, 2024. Why developers choosing 3rd and 4th for releasing games? I've no idea why. Stop picking the same day, please. That's a mythical age where gods, monsters, and humans collide, and it is in modern real-time strategy. I can imagine it's almost like Civ series, but has gods and monsters as well. I can imagine. We've not seen any gameplay. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
From what I remember of the Age of Mythology series, like because there's been games before.
Oh, this is another game I didn't know there were all games for.
Yeah, I can't remember how many there was. I think there was a couple of them at least. But yeah, I think it's very similar to Civ in gameplay style.
All right.
There are a couple of like Civ clones almost back then.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of them that very much copied that style of gameplay. It's one that interests me, definitely. And I'm just thinking I'll only have one day to play it because then I'll be stuck on Space Marine for the next 3 years. But no, I'm quite interested in that. I might check that one out.
Yeah, I might, depend on what the gameplay's like, because I do like my Greek mythology, because I... what was the Ubisoft game called? The Greek mythology Ubisoft game that came out a few years ago. What's it called? I have it on my Switch. What's it called? Immortals Phoenix Rising, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I never finished it, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, another one for the backlog. Yeah. Talking of games that I didn't know there was a previous game of, which has got me very interested, is Perfect Dark. This is a reboot from the OG games. It's a single-player first-person FPS. It will focus on a near-future war of advanced tech that threatens the lives of millions, and players will need to use stealth, parkour, high-tech gadgetry, good old-fashioned firearms to fend off global disaster, and it will feature elements of first-person shooters, immersive sims, and stealth action. It's developed by the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics, and is originally revealed in 2020. I believe there was some developer switch around. It wasn't originally by the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics. I think there might have been some switches since then, hence why we've probably not seen anything for 4 years. But now there appears to be some progress, and the gameplay in it looks... I really like the look of it. It looks really, really good. You play the same main character, which people online think her chin is too flat because internet, as usual. But yeah, this looks really interesting. It looks like it's got elements of like Mirror's Edge, where you've got this sort of parkour going on pipes and doing that sort of parkour aspect, and then you've got the sort of stealth gameplay and that sort of infiltration. It looks good. I don't know what you think, because I know you mentioned to me the other day that you knew about the old Perfect Dark games.
I don't... Do you know, I can't remember if I've ever actually played one, but I do remember there being a couple of them, God, when I was a kid. I'm watching the trailer at the moment. I don't remember us talking about this. I don't remember seeing anything, but this does look really interesting. It's the kind of game I could get behind, definitely. Yeah. So I might be checking this one out.
It
looks like a lot of fun. I'm loving the this list is growing. I'm loving the gameplay. I'm loving the parkour. This looks like a lot of fun. Maybe I need to go and see if I've got any of the old games.
Yeah. Obviously, this doesn't have a release date just yet, so it might be a year away, it might be 2 years away, it might be even further than that. So it's not coming out anytime soon, let's just say. So even if it is on your list, there's plenty of time to wait for it to come out. But yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes. The next reveal they did was Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. Very interesting cinematic trailer. I mean, obviously Diablo's what? Blizzard? Am I right in that? Are they?
No, I'm not sure.
Is Diablo Blizzard? Who made Diablo?
Yeah, it is Blizzard.
Oh, it is Blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably tell by how good the cinematic is. Like, the cinematic is a bit freaky, I must admit. And Diablo's not my sort of game, but the cinematic is fantastic. As usual from Blizzard. Blizzard do fantastic cinematics. That's coming out on October 8th.
They do very well.
especially when it comes to bloody Overwatch. And honestly, although they've sort of killed Overwatch with Overwatch 2, like, the cinematics and the lore behind Overwatch has so much potential that everyone's like, why don't you just do a film or a TV series or something like that? Because you would be really, really good at it and people would like it because it would work. Because you've always had fantastic
definitely make a good film
cinematics. Studio. Yeah. The next game that I want to talk about is mainly because we talked about it last year on the podcast, and that's Fable. We have a date for 2025. We have a new trailer.
Oh.
The only info that we grabbed it was that hero theme again, that we sort of got last year. What does it mean to be a hero? This time it featured an actual hero. And this is sort of the synopsis of what we know so far. It says, what does it mean to be a hero? Well, in the fairy tale land of Albion, that is entirely up to you. With a dark threat looming and in a world where your reputation precedes you, your choices will change Albion forever. It does look like the female character that got a bit of scrutiny on the internet has been spruced up and polished a bit, as you may notice if you're watching that, because I'm assuming this is another trailer you haven't watched, Joe.
No, for some reason I missed every single trailer and have seen a couple of things recently, but yeah, I seem to be catching up on everything now.
Yeah.
I don't know how I manage it.
Yeah. But it looks like part of the story is this hero kind of trained up this hero, and this hero's kind of gone rogue or bad or something, and they're coming back or whatever. People are concerned there isn't going to be a character customizer, that it's going to be this female character that you keep seeing in these trailers that was scrutinized a bit. I've never played a Fable, but watching these trailers has getting me into it. I'm kind of interested. I know from our discussion from last year, you said you could choose your character. There was a character customizer, and you could change all that kind of stuff. I don't see why Playground Games couldn't, isn't going to be faithful to the older games.
Even so, saying at this stage, oh, it looks like there's not going to be. Well, they need to have a.
The thing is, we don't know.
Let's say a default hero for the trailer, so you can see, oh, this is the game we're putting together.
Well, this person in the trailer might not actually might be a character you interact with or whatever, but it might be the placeholder for you. We don't know. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like the female hero that's running around, I mean, clearly is going to be the player character.
Yeah.
What's to say that's not the character that you can customize? It's always been there's a customizable character.
Yeah.
But then the trailers have had the air quotes default character.
Yeah.
As kind of the placeholder. They need something there to show, oh, look, this is the game you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just a case of that. I hope it's just a case of that, because again, I like that the hero is your hero,
Yeah. It's funny.
Definitely
when you watch the trailer, the hero, sort of the hero, the greatest hero, the way that it's been presented makes you feel like you, the player, were the hero that he trained, right? But then it goes on to say the little twist of saying, well, actually, this person's gone bad and they've come back. And then you're thinking, well, that can't be the player then.
Oh, I see.
That was the sort of vibe that I got from that trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the sound turned down, so I'm not listening to it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then the female character appears again. So you're like, actually, okay, now I'm a little bit confused. What you or the character has that involvement with. But I suppose that's almost on purpose to get you guessing. It's a long way away.
It drums up interest, doesn't it?
It's another year away. Obviously, people are going to be interested in gameplay. We've had 2 cinematics thus far, sort of teasing it. We didn't have a date last year, did we? I think this was
I don't think so, no.
First time if we say, yeah, it's coming to 2025. Now, I know some people might say, oh, actually, there's no Forza Horizon 6 because Playground Games have been working on this, but they'll have different teams for Fable and a different team for Forza because they're still pumping out Forza Horizon 5 content. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be a different team.
That argument is invalid. Yeah. So that's a bit of Fable. It's got my interest as well. Next game was announced last year, which we were both interested in. Flight Simulator 2024 is coming out on November 19th this year. It's coming. And it's almost here. A few months away. This Flight Simulator is new, and it sort of brings in the jobs of flight. We've seen the likes of fire rescue and VIP flights and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you remember from the last sort of trailer that we had. Obviously, there's a new trailer. There's a trailer number 2 that was sort of brought out to summarise that as well. And I thought it would be useful to sort of go over their FAQ. Because I know some current flight sim people might be thinking, well, what does that mean for 2020's Flight Simulator? Well, Flight Simulator this one's going to be a standalone simulator and the next generation sequel to the series. Current aircraft and airports that are in the 2020 version, as well as virtually all marketplace add-ons, will be supported in the new one. They will continue to deliver the 2020 roadmap, which has content ranging from aircraft and avionic updates, sim updates, city and world updates, and also the free Dune DLC. So you get the Dune aircraft thing. Yes. And they'll continue to support the Microsoft Flight Simulator post the launch of the 2024 one as well. One of the questions was, will all purchases users have from the marketplace be transferable? With very few exceptions is the answer. Virtually all add-ons that work in 2020 will function in the 2024, but add-ons that were purchased from the in-simulator marketplace will not need to be repurchased in 24. Will have improved load times. They've said it's one of the priorities through the data management. One of the major changes to the simulator's architecture being made in cloud streaming to help ensure that the client becomes thin. So when users load into that sim, only the textures, meshes, and map data will need to be downloaded to avoid unnecessary bandwidth with the disk space usage, and they'll keep the minimum specs of the sim as low as it is now. Will there be airliners in Microsoft? The quick answer is yes. The missions activities are going to be authentic recreations of those performed in real-life aviations, firefighting, search and rescue, Coast Guard, all that sort of stuff. And the development team is improving every aspect of the simulator as they possibly can, including the sort of digital twin from the static world, the living world, and the dynamic world as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Flight Sim. Are you still interested?
Yeah, I think I might have spoken about this before as well, but I've always been interested in the flight simulators, but I've never got into them.
Yeah.
You know, I've wanted to play it, but I don't know how to fly. I don't know how to set up aircraft. I have absolutely no idea of what I'm doing. And I think the one flight simulator that I used wasn't very good at teaching me that.
Yeah.
And I think I just got frustrated and gave up. But I still want to try and get into it.
I think that's why probably Flight Simulator, particularly from 2021, is probably very good for someone that is new like you, because of the fact that it's been made for an Xbox console as well. So some of the controls you could say have been simplified, but that's not to take away from the more enthusiastic stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff that you can turn on and off in terms of kind of this. The more hardcore flight simmers do not consider this as a proper flight sim. They find it too arcadey. I feel that this is like the equivalent to not the recent one, but the Forza Motorsport of the flight sim world, if you get what I mean. The sort of simcade one. It's got the simulator aspect, but it also has that sort of more arcade functionality.
Almost a sim light.
Yeah.
Kind of introduce people to it, and if people want to go
It's
a little
sort
more
of in
heavy
the
into
middle,
it, then they
yeah.
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, the last flight sim I played was Flight Simulator X, which was the really old one.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I own.
Before the Xbox integration. I've also got X-Plane 11. X-Plane 12's out as well, by the way. And that's also a fun one. But yeah, I would say in terms of learning, maybe the newer ones. I'm very in and out of flight sims. Like, I get into them, I play them for a few weeks, and then I don't play them for like 3 years, and then I go back to them.
Yeah.
I'm more into my racing sims, but I do sort of enjoy it because I know some people relax to this like you relax to Euro Truck. It's one of those chill games that they will just fly from A to B because it's one of those relaxing, chill games that they'll be able to do.
You know, I can totally understand why people have that kind of relationship with it. I feel like, to be fair, I feel like this is probably applicable for quite a few simcade kind of games.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably an apt description for Euro Truck as well.
Yeah.
But where you can do something that is not really intensive in terms of, you know, having to really focus in and concentrate on it. But also you can just, you know, unwind, put on some music or whatever. I mean, sometimes I put on a program in the background.
Yeah.
And just kind of unwind and just enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, I can definitely see why that would apply to this as well. Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Flight Simulator. Then we've got a game that I'm interested in. Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. We've got a new cinematic of him going into a battleship. And I keep seeing these comments, and I agree. It's this beached old battleship in the snow. It gives me vibes of the original Indiana Jones trilogy, and a lot of people are saying that. Particularly this cinematic, it's very classic Indiana Jones, and you could see it as almost one of the film pieces. So I think the cinematic they've done really well. They've obviously mixed some gameplay into this as well, but surprisingly, we don't have a release date. Technically, it's just saying 2024 still, which is one of the games that have been released this year. Not released, announced and showed a new trailer for that doesn't have a specific release date. I'm thinking, well, we're in June, and there's not there's not that much of 2024 left to do the release date unless they're not sure and they might postpone it to next year. We don't know, or they're
are they doing a space marine?
Or they're just waiting. I don't know.
Or are they doing a space marine? Are they going to say, "Oh, it's going to be this year," and then you get right to the end of the year, and they go, "We had to delay it." Sorry.
Or you know, Test Drive Unlimited 2, which we should have got like 3 years ago. Test Drive Unlimited still look around. Correction.
I don't think you're ever going to get over that, are you?
I mean, it's coming out in September, so we got a release date. But yeah, which I was going to talk about Test Drive today, but there's no time to. Because I played the demo and I want to talk about that, but I can't. I can't. But yeah, Indiana Jones looks great. I would say I'm a big indie fan. I love it. And it looks really interesting as a story-based game, and I really want it. As for other...
I'd be very surprised if you don't pick that up and stream that even.
Oh yeah, I'll stream that for sure. We've got Atomfall, which is 2025. Apparently, it's a Souls-like action RPG based in the UK. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We got a bit of a, and we got one of the things was that, the old red telephone boxes.
Yeah.
We had one of the. It showed one of those ringing, and somebody commented saying, "Oh yeah, if we don't get to go into that, I'm going to be very disappointed. 0 out of 10 game." And someone else said, if it's not bigger on the inside, don't want it.
It's the wrong kind of phone box.
I know, but you know, it's nice because you could definitely tell it was UK. Definitely tell. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer and it's very UK vibes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously there is some sort of, I think, supernatural or additional twist to it. I think it might be post-apocalyptic. I think, which some people say is very accurate and realistic to the UK. Yes, absolutely. The rest of the world doesn't know. We actually live in a post-apocalyptic world. You just don't see it.
Don't let them all know. Oops. Don't let the secret out.
Oops, sorry. Anyway.
God, Bennett.
Now, the Xbox podcast where everyone was panicking, Xbox is shutting down and blah, 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 blah. It's not. They said, oh yeah, in June, we're going to have something exciting for hardware. Do you know what they gave us? Digital, Xbox Series S and X. That was it. No handheld, nothing like that. I think they're still cooking. I think they're waiting till Gamescom and not the June showcase, because I think someone said, I saw online that someone from Xbox said, we've got something big, hardware-based, coming later. Because this can't be it. This can't be what they were hyping up for. 1 terabyte digital edition. There is a nice Galaxy Black special edition with 2 terabytes in. It looks nice. It looks nice and spacey. But it's just cosmetic, and you get an extra terabyte for it. But other than that, it is the Xbox Fridge. They're all three going to launch in holiday 2024. For people in the UK that speak properly, that's winter 2024.
Yeah, it'll be Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll be interested to see how much these are priced, because I still think that the current X and S are extortionately priced. Very, very high.
This might be less because it's digital. I won't have a disk drive, but then again, we don't know.
But so that was going to be my other point. Is I don't like that. Because the S is obviously already cheaper than the X.
Yeah.
And I probably could go and pick up an S.
Yeah.
But I want the possibility of playing second-hand games.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go down to my local CEX or whatever and buy a second-hand game and be able to play it. And, you know, I always thought the point was the X was the one with the disc drive and the S was the one without. Well, if they're doing an all-digital Series X, what is the point? What is the difference?
So it's to do with performance, actually, because the X is meant to be the flagship one, and then the S is meant to be the not so powerful but more affordable Xbox. That's how they've sort of tiered it. But they might they might do what PlayStation do the digital version and then have this extra special disc add-on that you can plug into the Xbox for those people that actually do want it, but actually adding that onto it actually makes it more expensive. That you may as well just buy the disc version. But on the flip side, they might put the original X and S down in price, potentially, if new ones are coming out.
Yeah, I would be interested to see if that happens. If it does, it might make the original Series X a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it will.
Yeah.
Because, as I say, I know I've said this a lot on the podcast. I've said it a lot in the streams as well. I say it to everyone that I talk to. The X is just so expensive. I feel like they're pricing people out.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's good for the future of gaming. So I do hope it brings the price down. I do hope it allows more people to get into gaming and keeps the industry alive.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going to go into that rant again. Yeah. We've done that enough times.
Yeah, so that was the sort of digital hardware announcement. And yeah, I do think they're going to be bringing out something else later. The likely pointing the finger is Gamescom it makes sense. It's the next gaming event that appears, and maybe the stuff that they have been working on that was big and they said something about being revolutionary for the next gen, didn't they? I think they weren't ready for June, and they've decided not to show it. Which,
do you know, I don't think I'd actually be that surprised if they thought that this was revolutionary. I agree with you. It's nothing special, but there's just a part of me that's like, yeah, but is this just corporate speak for we've done a little bit of an update and it's amazing and it's actually just
not as big as they think gamers will perceive it as.
They're just bigging it up to try and make it important, but actually anyone who knows a little bit about technology goes, what are you on about?
Yeah.
I just, there's a part of me that thinks that is going to be the case here, and I'll be disappointed if it is, but also I don't think I'll be that surprised.
Yeah. Right. The last, technically the second to last thing before, well, this was the last thing of the main showcase, then we had the COD post-show direct, was Gears of War, and everyone was expecting Gears of War 6. No, we got Gears of War E-Day. And the cinematic, fantastic, absolutely amazing cinematic. And this is what has been said about this game. It's experienced the brutal horror of Emergence Day through the eyes of Marcus Phoenix in the origin story. 14 years before Gears of War, war heroes Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago return home to face a new nightmare, the Locust Horde. I've never played a Gears of War game. That doesn't mean anything to me. But someone that does play Gears of War, or has done, is Joe, and maybe be able to fill me in on what the hell that all means.
Yeah, so look, I've played a few of the Gears games, not all of them, and I'm not 100% on the lore, and there will be things I'm misremembering. So just take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But the gist of it, I can help you with. The Locusts are the enemies, and I don't know if they're aliens or what, but they are definitely not human.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm gonna, again, this bit I'm not quite sure is right, but you get the gist of it anyway. Is they just want to eat humans.
Lovely.
Humans, humans shouldn't be there.
Humans yummy. Okay.
Yeah, basically. Obviously they're in a big war against humanity, but there is lots of locusts, and they have these, there are these bugs as well as these sort of humanoid creatures, and anyway, big army.
Yeah.
But there is a point that is referenced in the lore, which I think is what this is going to be covering, which they're calling Emergence Day. I don't remember that name. It may have been mentioned. I may have just forgotten it. But effectively, this is sort of that big initial encounter with the Locust and kind of that whole enemy faction. This is kind of the collapse of humanity from what I understand. So it'll be interesting to play this, because we've always played, I don't know how far past Emergence Day, but far enough that, it's just kind of the accepted norm at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to play that one. I'll definitely pick that up. Like I said, I've not played all the Gears games, but I've enjoyed what I have played. They're good stories. The gameplay is quite fun. And I'll be interested to check out more of this.
Yeah, so a few of my friends, I was in a voice chat when we were watching this together, and they were like, oh, they're younger. They look younger. Is this like a flashback or something? And then obviously it mentions in the YouTube description of the video of saying actually it's based 14 years before, so it's a prequel game rather than doing Gears 6, which, from what I can tell, very well received from the fans of the Gears of War franchise, because it means extra lore, I suppose, for before, and see them a little bit younger. It's
I suppose it's a different story as well, because I mean, again, I can't remember how much the story has changed, but
Yeah.
things have changed as the games have progressed. I mean, obviously there's 5 Gears games already. You can't just fight the Locust for 5 games. It's going to have to adapt and change over that time. But going back right to the start of this war, that's really cool, because then it gives a lot of context, or hopefully will give a lot of context to the games that we've played so far, and it will give us a new perspective on kind of the story that we've been through with you know, Phoenix and Dom already. I like prequels. I like them explaining a little bit more of the world that we're in and the world that we love and enjoy. So yeah, look, all I've seen is the trailer, like literally now. I've not looked at anything online, and as I say, my Gears knowledge is patchy at best, but I'm really excited by this. I will definitely be picking this one up, because I'd like to go back and explore that side of things.
Yeah, there's no release date just yet, just kind of sort of reveal. Yeah. Right.
That's fine.
Shall we talk about this very small FPS game called Call of Duty? I don't know.
I don't think I've heard of it.
I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah.
No, that must be new.
Black Ops 6 is coming out on the 24th of October.
Sorry, just to stop you for a second. Black Ops 6?
Yes.
I remember 3.
Then there was 4.
I don't remember 4 or 5.
5 is classified as Cold War. So the devs have actually said that they class Cold War as number 5, and this one will be number 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. This is going to be set in the early 1990s. For movement, they're adding this Omni movement feature, which means you can kind of sort of sprint around corners while facing the opposite direction, sort of thing, or you can dive in any direction. It's probably not the best way to explain it, but watching an example from the direct or the gameplay trailer would probably be the better thing to explain that. But yeah, but I said this to my friends. I said I can see the meta in Black Ops 6 already. It's going to be people in multiplayer diving around corners constantly. I can see it happening. It's. Do you remember the Star Citizen change of the prone from CitizenCon last year, of where they were prone, they would go back onto their back with the firearm? It reminds me of that. It's not a new thing. Other FPSs have done it. Obviously, COD are going to try and market it as, we have done this for the first time ever, but they haven't.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just the thing I can't get my head around, sorry, just to go back for a second, is the whole sprinting around corners while facing the opposite direction. It's a first-person shooter. How can you sprint backwards? Because you're always going to be looking where your gun is pointing. Well, that is your look. So I don't.
So when it means backwards, it's facing where the enemy is, but running backwards, as if you're walking backwards, but you're facing the enemy, but running.
But look, maybe this is just me. I'd fall over. I don't know how you can sprint moving backwards. That just sorry.
Well, I think it would be better if you looked at the gameplay of what I'm trying to say, because I don't even know if I'm getting it across right. Another new thing was intelligent movement, which will automate some movement techniques like sprinting, mantling, and sliding through crouch height holes. They demonstrate this as basically less buttons to press. I think that's more accessibility thing, and also that sort of trying to align console gameplay more maybe with PC. Because PC is probably very much quicker at all this sort of stuff, maybe. So they're sort of trying to inline that, but also make it easier for more people to play Call of Duty, because it means if you don't want to do all this and you just want to focus on anything else that isn't sprinting, mantling, and sliding through crouch height holes, then the game can do it for you. There's going to be 16 maps at launch for multiplayer, 12 traditional 6 versus 6, and 4 that support both 2v2 and 6v6. No remakes this time around. The classic prestige system is back from every pre-Modern Warfare reboot COD. There are 10 initial prestige tiers, each resetting your unlock backpacks to 0, and then another 1,000 prestige levels after that, which is a lot. That is a lot of prestige levels.
Sorry, 1,000?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So that's after that's basically after you've fully prestiged, you've then got an extra 1,000 to go through. So those people that want to grind through that, they've got plenty to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I've never been a fan of the prestige thing. I think it's dumb. But that is crazy. For the people that want to grind the hell out of this game.
Yeah.
Which there are people that will do that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's some of the stuff for sort of multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to skip over to zombies, because this is something that I'm going to be playing the game for. I'm going to be buying the game for zombies. I'm sure a lot of other people will be buying the game just for zombies. And, by the look of the sort of get the game kind of features, Goalguns are back from... Well, I'm going to say Black Ops 3. I'm probably going to be wrong because it might have been in Black Ops 4. Was there zombies in Black Ops 4? I don't know.
I genuinely cannot remember.
Definitely not in Cold War. I've only been recently gifted Black Ops 3 from a friend, so I'm very new player trying zombies in Black Ops 3. It's a huge difference, by the way. I'm not used to it at all. It's crazy different. Okay. Yeah. So by no means am I a COD expert, by the way, but I'm excited because Cold War was my first COD, and because I've been majoritively a Battlefield player my entire life, and I got hooked on zombies very, very quickly, and I absolutely love it. And I love the way that Cold War it has been, and all that kind of stuff. So the new Round-based Zombies is back. It's got 2 maps at launch, Terminus and Liberty Falls. Terminus is set on Terminus Island during the night, massive prison island, with a double A. It's not a battery. An anti-air cannon that shoots an ether black hole. If you look at the last link, Joe, for the zombie section of the direct. That piece of gameplay will actually demonstrate what that cannon does, and it's a big cannon.
Oh, okay, yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So that's the ether cannon that shoots the ether black hole. And then you've got the Liberty Falls map, which is set in West Virginia during the day. You've got the continuation of the intriguing and terrifying Dark Ether narrative that was started in Black Ops Cold War, so that story will then continue in the new Black Ops game.
Right, okay.
There's going to be things like new and returning power-ups. You also have that new movement feature, talked about in multiplayer. And Treyarch have also hinted at additional zombie-specific features, but more... They like teasing and keeping people... in the dark with zombies because everybody is very hyped for it and they want to keep stuff hush and wait, really, as long as they possibly can. So we got like 10 minutes of multiplayer and about the campaign and stuff, and then we got like 2 minutes of zombies, and I'm thinking, I want to know more about zombies, but then again, they want to hype this up because they know how popular this game mode is.
Yeah.
More maps will be coming in seasons and all this kind of stuff, and you will be able to play as a crew. You will still be able to play as operators, but playing as the set crew will allow for story-specific quotes, because obviously the zombie sort of Easter eggs are obviously a big thing that you need a PhD for, a specific COD Zombies PhD. I'm excited for it. It's very good. From what I can see, my friends are excited. I can't wait to do some more zombies in the next iteration of zombies, really, because I really enjoy Cold War zombies, and probably going to be the most similar to that, plus extra stuff maybe from the older games or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested. I've always enjoyed a Call of Duty campaign.
Yeah.
I'm not really. I know Call of Duty is more about the multiplayer side, but I've never really been. Probably because I'm not very good at it. I just get frustrated.
Yeah.
I have my moments, and then I'm just terrible. So yeah, it's never been about that for me. But yeah, the campaign sounds interesting. I like the zombies because you can just have a bit of a laugh with some mates. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be playing a little bit of that as well. Yeah, I'm interested to see more of this.
Maybe we can have our debut of playing together on zombies. Maybe
Could.
because we haven't played COD together at all.
No, that's true. That is true. I've streamed some COD. Once upon a time.
I'm actually, because I've got myself back into COD War Zombies, I'm actually tempted to maybe stream some in the coming
that'd
weeks.
Be fun.
Yeah, because I really do like it. I've started to try and, when I did the Easter eggs, obviously I was new to zombies, I was new to Call of Duty, obviously being my first one, so my friends, obviously had the new card and they kind of went through with it, and they also went through the Easter egg with me. And when you get pulled through the Easter egg with other people that know what they're doing with the Easter egg sort of clues and stuff that are very complicated to figure out, you don't learn anything. You don't know how to do it. I've started. Obviously, I'm cheating because I'm using guides. I'm not working out myself. But I just want to do the Easter egg, to be honest, and I don't see any issue in using a guide like that. So I've started doing the sort of one for Firebase Z. So I've now figured out and gone through it enough times to be able to get the window weapon, the Ray K window weapon blueprints all up and running, and a little bit more into the actual story Easter egg, which is nice. So yeah. I could talk a lot longer about zombies, but I think that basically wraps up Xbox. Xbox Showcase, I think, best showcase out of them all. It was fantastic to watch. It did really hype me up for some Xbox games coming, and if you're an Xbox gamer, I would say be excited unless nothing interests you that was there. Yeah. Shall we talk about Ubisoft?
Yes.
Because I want to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. We got some gameplay and I'm excited. I want this game now. Okay. New gameplay overview. We got a bit of a showcase, and we got one of the I think it was one of the game directors or whatever, just talking you through the gameplay that was shown. So you got a bit more of lore and explanation of what you do and stuff, and what did we see. The one thing in the showcase trailer was confusing, or was it the game overlay trailer? There was two. I can't remember which one it was. They said the first ever open world Star Wars game. Does that not sound right to you?
Try again.
So I looked into this. Old Republic, I would argue, open world. KOTOR, I would argue, open world, and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga would all like to have a word with you, Ubisoft, because I think they're all classed as open world.
I'd also throw in there, not in its entirety, but sections of Jedi Survivor. There are open world areas in that.
Now, I didn't put in Jedi Survivor or anything like that for a reason, because actually there's been this whole discussion online about this, actually, in relation to this.
Oh god.
And they actually more refer to the Jedi series as Metroidvania style levels, or semi-open world, because they are more linear. They're not complete open world, are they? Because there are segments that need loading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, you can do whatever you want, but it's not fully open world. So that's why I didn't really want to put it on there. But claiming it's the first ever open world Star Wars game,
it's definitely not.
No, I don't think it is. I think that's a completely false claim from Ubisoft there. A Massive Entertainment. Massive Entertainment, by the way, made Division, which is also why I'm a little bit excited about this. but everything looks really, really nice. So there are things like what we saw was a bit of Explorer based on intel. So there are these people, experts, in one of the gameplay things where you go for a sheriff for her to show you how to gunsling, obviously leveling up maybe some gunslinger skills or getting an attachment for her pistol. As we know, she'll have different attachments for different things. I think we saw something like an ion aspect, which would do more damage to droids or something rather than regular enemies. We saw some ship combat, standard stuff, what you would see. It's nothing out than ordinary. It's your basic ship combat. The seamless ship to ground transition, which, as we know, in Jedi Survivor, the loading screen is hidden in the bit where he is cinematically moving through wall bits, going side on, as we know. They've done this a little bit differently. They've done it in the clouds. As you're going down, the loading screen's in the clouds, and then it comes back out. And honestly, it looks natural when you look at it. When you look at that,
I like that.
I'm thinking, yes, people are going to know it's a loading screen, but I think it's got to the point where, at least it's not done a Starfield.
Yeah, if you can do something like that, where, yes, it is a very obvious cut, but you're trying to do it in the most, I don't know, natural way possible.
Yeah, because it is.
I think it's probably the worst.
It isn't you controlling the ship. It will be sort of AI controlled, and I don't mind that for a story-based game like this, because I don't think it matters that much. But it's nice to see that seamless little transition, because it does look like there isn't a loading screen, which is the exact point of these new sort of seamless loading screens, and I really like that. Yeah. There's the speeder bike gameplay as well. We got to see some binoculars, so you can obviously scout out and stuff. What I was trying to say with the experts earlier was you basically react to stuff based on intel. You go to somebody, they'll might have a piece of intel, you'll then check it out, and that, I think, is one of the most Star Warsy things ever. You can imagine that happening in that world, because things like from the Mandalorian series and all that kind of stuff, you kind of will see that. The characters in Star Wars will react based on intel, go to somebody, okay, let's go to this place based on this intel. We also got to see things like lockpicking and stealth. We even got to see the wanted system, which was teased online, but there was no confirmation until then, which includes Death Troopers as the max.
Oh, I do like that.
That is the max. I think that's the maximum wanted level. So it's like a GTA wanted level, basically. If you go against the Empire, and the Empire will come after you with TIE fighters or ATSTs or whatever. And I really like that. And what we did get to see was the Red Dead Redemption 2 style Deadeye is in this, which is a really neat thing to have as well. So, have you watched anything? What are you thinking?
No, I haven't seen anything other than the original trailer that came out a while back. However, all of this sounds really interesting to me. I'll be honest with you, when I watched the first trailer, I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this up. Yeah. Or not straight away anyway, it was one of those ones where it's like, well, maybe I'll pick it up down the line when it's a bit cheaper and play it through them. I don't know if it was going to be something I was really that excited about. But the more I'm hearing about this, the more I'm thinking, actually, maybe I do need to play this. Maybe this is one that I need to put on my list.
I mean, last month we talked in depth about the pricing and how controversial that was. But looking at this gameplay, I'm always like, I want to see more gameplay. We saw gameplay when it was announced last year, and I was into it. I'm now even more into it. Like, I'm thinking, well, yes, I don't mind investing into this. Maybe not the topmost version, whatever. Which was probably the more controversial bit about the pricing anyway, because the other pricing was fairly standard. The sort of 70, then the 94 is starting to creep into the controversial element. But the fact that I found a game that I really like the gameplay of, it puts a smile on my face when I watch it. And the fact that I'm interested in it, I think, is enough for me to say, yep, I want this game. no matter what the internet says, because I think that's the important part. The internet will always say this game's going to be rubbish or bad because it's made by Ubisoft or whatever, but if you find a game that interests you and you like the gameplay, well, go and buy that game. If it turns out that you do get bored of it, well, you know, that's maybe... This will be another discussion for another day, but this is why I want demos to fully return so you can actually test the game to see if you like it. Because there is one thing of watching gameplay, and then there's another thing of, you know, playing it yourself, but because it is completely different. But I'm interested
100%.
in this, and I am going to be buying it. Whether I get the 3 days earlier on the Tuesday, or I get it standard edition on the 30th of August. I think this is one I don't want to wait for at all, and I want to grab it. So, other stuff from Ubisoft, the Crew Motorfest, which is interesting, which I'm going to briefly sort of go into. Chase Squad plus new content for Year 2. I have mentioned Motorfest on the podcast before. You will know it's, or you might have forgotten, it's on the Hawaii island. I don't know if you remember me saying.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And in November, they're bringing out one of the second islands for free. Another island.
Oh, okay.
And I think me and a lot of other people are really surprised because I'm like, well, I thought that was just going to be the map. That was it. They've been cooking so quickly on that new map. It looks really good for the Crew racing game. So, you know, the fact that they've brought a new expansion just looks really good for Year 2 content. There's going to be a Crew showcase specifically in September that will talk more about this, and the Chase Squad is also going to be premium content, which I think is going to be their version of cops and robbers sort of thing, or just the car chasing again that we've had in previous. I think the last time we had it was the Crew 1, maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know, the Crew game that got shut down. That one. There was a police aspect in the Crew 2, but I don't think it was as good as the Crew 1. I'm not quite sure. I didn't really delve into the Crew 2. But yeah, that looks really good. And in the trailer for the Chase Squad, they kind of used a dog and a cat sort of thing, that sort of chase thing, which looked really cool. But yeah, you could definitely tell it was definitely cars veered to being the police, but they're calling it the Chase Squad instead of police or whatever, I think. Whether that's copyright reasons or something else, or I don't know. But I think it's their own sort of version.
That's cool. No, I like that.
Yeah. Moving on from the Crew Motorfest, we've got another game I'm now interested in. I wasn't originally interested in the new Assassin's Creed Shadows game, but now I am because I've seen the Shinobi gameplay, which is the stealth gameplay, and it looks really good, and I want it. I want the game now. I don't usually go in for Assassin's Creed games. The last Assassin's Creed game I got was Origins, and I didn't even finish it, but this looks good, despite the controversy. So you've got a samurai and a shinobi gameplay, which is sort of your stealth and the loud dynamic. There's a weather system. You can pet a dog in it. So that's a plus for a lot of people. So the samurai has this big club called the Kanabo weapon. And he's more the sort of heavy, loud person who will sort of smash through stuff. And you get to choose between characters once they've met in the story. So they'll met in the story, and you get to choose how you want to approach each mission. Do you want to take the samurai, who is more kick down the front door, cause a lot of chaos? Or do you want to go in sneaky and be the shinobi, the ninja? The shinobi to me is more Assassin's Creed-like, if you get what I mean. That sneaking around, that sort of cut parkour sort of stuff. The classic Assassin's Creed, what you would expect.
Yeah.
She has a grappling hook to traverse. It's physics-based. It can be used to grab enemies. You can take them somewhere to take down. It's better than moving a dead body, because usually you'd have to assassinate somebody and then move them, but you can use the grappling hook to move them, which is easier because it's going to be less heavy, because they're still alive technically at that point. You're just pulling them. And doing it somewhere where it's more suitable. You can prone and crawl in grass. There's stealth in light and shadow, so you can take out a lantern or something like that. And you can use the shadows to be stealthy. There's stealth in water, but you can't do that in winter. That relates to the weather and the season system.
Oh.
So the water will freeze over. They show a sequence where they assassinate somebody and they go into the water and they assassinate them, and they said you can't do that in winter because the water would be frozen over with snow and ice. So you'd have to have a different approach if you did that mission on a different season.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And just looking at the gameplay, it's got me interested. And this is the power of looking at gameplay. A game I didn't think I would be interested in, but now I am because,
because it looks fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a really big fan of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And then I kind of fell out of love with it for a little bit. And this does sound interesting. This does sound like it's going to pull me back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my poor wallet.
So this sort of the gameplay walkthrough was part of the post Ubisoft show, and there was one more thing, a game I've not played for a very long time, but I kind of want to go into this just looking at the fact that there's some Division 2 stuff. So Year 6 will have 3 seasons. Have you played the Warlords of New York?
No, I don't think I got that far into Division 2.
Right, okay. It's kind of a spoiler, but they expect everybody to know this by now. Keenan, who you basically go after in Warlords of New York, who's the big rogue agent who's betrayed everybody, he's alive because you actually kill him. Or you're supposed to kill him. He's actually alive.
Okay.
And that's the new sort of DLC story. Well, it's not DLC, it's part of the seasonal story.
Yeah.
There's this one end game for all agents. So, up to this point, you would have to own Warlords of New York to get to level 40. That's now no longer going to be the case. Everyone will be able to level up to level 40 without that DLC.
Okay.
So everyone can access that, and we'll be able to access the seasonal content like game modes, weapons, basically every single content that comes with that. You can all access from where it is, because obviously Warlords of New York bring you onto the New York area rather than Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a new progression system, so it's called Seasons 2.0. It's a season-specific character where you play around with builds and mechanics. It's a unique experience for every season. And they're trying to make sure that players will get themselves up to speed, I think, kind of, with this. And at the end of the season, XP and rewards will merge with your main character, and seasonal characters will be added to your current roster. And this brings up more questions than answers, which I'll get to in a second. There's also Manhunt 2.0, so if you're used to the seasonal content, there'll be they're getting rid of targets and lieutenants. It's now weekly scouts, and each scout will have a few engagement activities for you to complete. And this is only for the seasonal characters only, so they're sort of locking you in, forcing you to do seasonal characters if you want to do that. There's a new difficulty for climax missions called Master Difficulty, and the main roadmap is this. In Season 1, you're going to have that one end game thing of that level 40 cap for everybody. Season 2 is the revamped Seasons 2.0. 2025. New story DLC. Yes. Ooh. That's going to be exciting. And then Season 3, the updated player expression, so more character customization. They're revamping. Now, the seasonal characters kind of brings up a few questions, like what's happening to my main character now? Do I have to play a new character every season? Why even have a main character if I have to roll out a new one each time? Do we get unlimited character slots, or these seasonal characters get deleted after the season's over? What if I don't want to play more than my main character? Yeah, they're sort of kind of... I feel that the community doesn't want this, but they've done it anyway.
What?
Sort of thing.
So, I have the same questions as you, actually. I was thinking sort of the same things as you were going through that. The only thing I can think that might explain it is it says, I see you made a note about at the end of the season, your XP and rewards will merge with your main character.
Yeah.
I wonder if that means that, you know, rolling a new character would then be optional. If you want to try a different build for this season, great, you can do that, and then at the end of the season, that gets wiped and rolled over, as it says.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it all depends on whether they're going to force it. If they force you to roll this new character for the season,
yeah,
then yeah, I agree with you. What is the point? What is the point of having a new character, and why are you merging it in? Because I'm not going to use it. Because next season you're going to make me roll a new character anyway.
I can imagine a lot of people just want to just go on their main character that they have right now. I think that's the thing, and I'm almost in the same. But I've not played for months or even years on end, and I want to get back into it. But this just is like, and they're forcing that extra seasonal content that's now available to people that don't have the DLC. They're forcing you to do that with the seasonal character because that's seasonal character only. And if you want to do that, the Manhunt 2.0, then well, you can't if you just want to do your main, which is a sort of concern. So I'm hoping that in the coming months they will explain this sort of in a sort of maybe FAQ or something. Because I'm interested to see what sort of direction they go for. Yeah,
it is interesting. Like I say, just the fact that it merges into your main character makes me wonder if they will give you the option.
Yeah.
Yeah, very odd. Very odd decision that. I don't understand it myself.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Ubisoft Showcase. There is one final thing during the PC gaming show. There's this little game called Star Trucker. It has a release date. It's coming the 3rd of September, which is also the date of Prison Architect 2 and the Quidditch game that we discussed earlier in the podcast. And I'm going to have to choose who to let go and who to go for. I can't afford them all. Anyway, imagine trucking in Euro Truck, but it's in space. It is amazing. They have had a demo. They actually recently put back on the demo, I think, for Steven X Fest. Steven X Fest might be ending fairly soon, actually. I don't know if this demo is still up. So I suggest to anybody that has this interest in Star Trucker to go and play it, because I played it a few times. And I just really like it. You've got to manage your ship. There's power cells for different things. It's everybody's a sort of, I think, dream, sort of almost arcade sim of being a space trucker. You know? This is single player only. There's no multiplayer, unfortunately. It would be nice, but I get why they've gone with the single player. There's a skill tree with everything about that, but I'm excited to get into this, and I can imagine you'll probably get into this as well, because this is probably up your street as well, which is why I was really excited when they did this, because I know they tweeted, they said, oh yeah, we're going to be part of the PC gaming show. I was like, ooh, I'm just going to watch the PC gaming show because of that, because it was just filled with indie games, and the only thing I was looking forward to was this, and yeah. That was right. Nothing else stuck out to me during the PC gaming show. But yeah, I really like look at this.
It seems like a really silly game, but I do want to try it out.
But yeah,
I like a bit of trucking. I like my space games, and to be honest, when I play a space game, I enjoy doing a little bit of space trucking as well. Yeah, so
just fusing the two together.
Yeah, so yeah, I could definitely get behind this. I might have to try that demo, just see what it's like.
If it's still available. The devs do, I think, keep pulling it sometimes, I think maybe to work on it or something. So, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it plays like, and I don't know if I'll pick it up on release, but I'll probably get it at some point.
Yeah, because it's September 3rd. It's dangerously close to Space Marine 2.
Yeah, and we all know I'm going... Well, not off-grid because I'll be streaming it, but it's basically going to be the only thing I play for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So...
I'll have to drag you off it just to do the podcast in September.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I'll still be frothing at the mouth playing it.
Yeah. And I think that's sort of going to conclude, because I think my voice is going to go. I'm not going to lie. I've been talking a lot today.
Yeah, no, let's wrap things up there then, because there's a lot that we've covered today.
A lot. Yes.
But I think this is always going to be a busy month for us. You know, it's such an important time for us to go over and talk about what's been teased and discussed and shown.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's going to be a busy one. But I hope you guys are enjoying sort of all the information, and maybe it's sparking conversations for you guys as well. Let us know whatever you're discussing or what you're thinking about it as well. Let us know if you're agreeing with us, if you disagree, if you have a different perspective on these things. We would love to hear from you guys. So please do leave comments, leave any feedback that you have. Whilst you're there, give us a little follow. We get a notification next time we post the podcast. Give us a rating as well. It helps us out. It feeds into all that algorithm goodness. And it helps us to know if you're enjoying the podcast as well.
Yeah.
In terms of when the next podcast is, that is going to be on the 31st of July. The stars have aligned, and it's going to be on the very last day of July.
Yeah.
So please do join us for that one as well. Thank you for joining us for this month as well. I think I said as well too many times there. Moving on. You can stay up to date with the podcast by following all of our socials. So we do have some Fandoms Edge socials.
Yeah.
Get me words out eventually.
Yeah.
Tom, do you want to plug the Fandoms Edge ones?
Yeah, so we've got, it's just search Fandoms Edge podcast on Instagram or YouTube, where we post on both. So the full podcast will go on the YouTube, as well as some short clips from each of them going up to the next podcast. And those shorts will go onto the Instagram. And we also do a post when the podcast goes live on the Instagram as well. So if you want to know when the next podcast has sort of launched or stuff, because you never know with things, there might be a delay or something, or the delay in an edit. It might take me all week to edit. We don't know. Yeah, probably the best place to make sure you know when the next podcast is.
Basically, guys, if you're not following us, why the hell not? Go and give us a follow now, and you get to find out everything that's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
I don't see a downside. Go and follow us. Talking of following, we can also both be found on Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We're going to put links all down below. But as a basic thing, you can find Tom under Maverick RNG and myself under FamilarForce. Please do check us out. Show us some love. We love to hear from you guys, and we love to hear what you're enjoying or what you'd like to see more of. I think we have rambled for long enough. We've talked about a lot of things today. Thank you very much again for sticking with us throughout this, and we will see you all in the next one.
On the Fandom's Edge.